everyone. Welcome to another exciting episode of Threat Intelligence Seminar. If you've joined us here or join us on our social media platforms, I would like to welcome you and also tell you that we are still in the month of awareness. Yes, Cybersecurity Month, October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month. And then this month, our theme is combating misinformation and disinformation. So, what is misinformation? Misinformation is false information that is spread unintentionally. So, misinformation can actually come due to errors, misunderstanding, lack of knowledge, or ignorance. Right now, misinformation is like saying that you don't know something, but you believe that you know, or if you just heard somebody say it, but then you've not verified it. And spreading that kind of information becomes misinformation. On the other hand, disinformation is false information that is spread intentionally to deceive or manipulate people. So when people intentionally cook up stories, cook up information to deceive people, that's what is called disinformation. So sometimes this information is actually done intentionally by media houses, political parties to try and deceive people. They know whatever they are saying is not true, but they want public sympathy. They want people to associate with them. So they go ahead and spread this kind of information. That becomes disinformation. One is intentional, the other is unintentional. So still on the awareness month, if you haven't verified a message, please don't share that particular message. Okay. Yes. Before you share an information or information you heard from a friend, please make sure you verify this information before you forward it. So before you send it, think. Before you share that information, think. All right. So today, if you are joining us here, you know that our section is divided into two. Our first session, which is our video security training or video security awareness, and the second session is presentation section. Okay, so I will proceed and share my screen, and I'll play this video for us to watch. I'll play this video 2 times so that you get to understand that video that you'll be watching. It's all about cybersecurity and it's all about awareness. Okay.
The airport, a place where people often carelessly send data to their family and friends through an open Wi-Fi network. Due to the ease of anyone who's also connected to the network accessing this data, places such as these are a haven for greedy cybercriminals. Ah, speaking of which, off Cyberto goes, gathering all the data he can muster. I'm just praying nothing of any importance is being shared. Oh, it seems as though all that he is getting is cat photos and other trivial information, whilst obviously adorable. Aww. What is Cyberto meant to do with all this, aside from make cute cat compilations? Oh look, our old pal Liam is also here too. Oh dear, looks like he is sharing some confidential files using the insecure network to his colleagues whilst working remotely. And without hesitation, proceeds to attempt to steal it for himself. No, Cyberto, please don't. Information such as this could be really detrimental to his company if it falls into the wrong hand. Wait, what's all this waffle? Ah, yes, Liam, my man. Using a virtual private network, or VPN, short, to scramble and encrypt data he sends or receives from his device by creating a secure channel through the internet between his device and the office network, thus making it safe to access the company network and sensitive data from outside the office network. Very smart as usual. That's right, Cyberto, off your pop. VPNs protect your connection from outside monitoring and interference. Enable your VPN whenever you connect to sensitive data from outside the company network. Turn on the kill switch to ensure that if your VPN connection drops, no data is sent from your device. Only use a VPN approved by your IT department, as cybercriminals can create fake VPNs that will steal your data instead of protecting it. The airport, a place where people often carelessly send data to their family and friends through an open Wi-Fi network. Due to the ease of anyone who's also connected to the network accessing this data, places such as these are a haven for greedy cybercriminals. Ah, speaking of which, off Cyberto goes, gathering all the data he can muster. I'm just praying nothing of any importance is being shared. Oh, it seems as though all that he is getting is cat photos and other trivial information, whilst obviously adorable. Aww. What is Cyberto meant to do with all this, aside from make cute cat compilations? Oh look, our old pal Liam is also here too. Oh dear, looks like he is sharing some confidential files using the insecure network to his colleagues whilst working remotely. Cyberto notices this, and without hesitation, proceeds to attempt to steal it for himself. No, Cyberto, please don't. Information such as this could be really detrimental to his company if it falls into the wrong hand. Wait, what's all this waffle? Ah yes, Liam, my man. Using a virtual private network, or VPN for short, to scramble and encrypt data he sends or receives from his device by creating a secure channel through the internet between his device and the office network, thus making it safe to access the company network and sensitive data from outside the office network. Very smart as usual. That's right, Cyberto, off your pop. VPNs protect your connection from outside monitoring and interference. Enable your VPN whenever you connect to sensitive data from outside the company network. Turn on the kill switch to ensure that if your VPN connection drops, no data is sent from your device. Only use a VPN approved by your IT department, as cybercriminals can create fake VPNs that will steal your data instead of protecting it.
Okay, so welcome back from the video we just watched. So yes, VPNs actually an important element whenever you're actually connecting to free Wi-Fi's or free networks or OP networks. Make sure that you actually have VPNs, and the VPNs will actually encrypt your files for you. So that brings us to the first session of our Threat Intelligence seminar. Our second session is our presentation session. And this session, we'll be looking at some social engineering and some form of attacks in cybersecurity. Social engineering and some forms of attacks in cybersecurity. So I'll proceed, I'll share my screen, and I will present for today. Okay, so like I already said in the introduction, we are looking at still doing awareness because this month is about cybersecurity. This month is a cybersecurity awareness month. And how will you be able to defend yourself if you don't know how these attacks happen or how people steal people's information in cybersecurity or in the digital space? Because you can't fight something you don't know. So just like the misinformation and the disinformation I said, you can combat these things if you actually have knowledge about this information, and that's what we'll be looking at. Okay, so there are techniques, there are ways in which cyber criminals and people try to get data or try to get information out of people. And these are the things that we'll be looking at. There are a lot of them, and I'll make sure that I can cover majority of them before our time reaches. So please pay attention and let's proceed. So now, we are looking at social engineering and password attacks. So at the end of this presentation, you actually get to know what are cybersecurity threats, what is social engineering. You will get to know some social engineering techniques. You also get to know password attacks, influence campaigns, physical attacks, and many more. Now, what are cybersecurity threats? Now, cybersecurity threats can be anything, can be a lot of things, but then the main aim of these threats is to actually compromise the confidentiality, the integrity, and availability of digital information and systems. If you are new to cybersecurity, confidentiality is more like protecting data from unauthorized visit or unauthorized use. So meaning that nobody would not have access or people who are not supposed to have access to those information shouldn't have it. So that is confidentiality. Now, the integrity aspect of cybersecurity actually means that information should not be altered, should remain original at all times, at storage, in processing, and in communication. And then availability also means that information should be available to people who need it. So authorized users should actually have the information whenever they want to actually have it. So that is the integrity, availability of cybersecurity. Now, anything that compromises these things are what we are actually looking at. So cyber criminals know this, and they know that they have to actually do this to actually gain more information. They have to actually do this to get more information. Now, these things can actually pose a risk to individuals, organizations, the government, and even the society as a whole. So we will look at these threats, we will look at what they are, and then we'll look at probably how to stop a few of them. Now, what is social engineering? Now, whenever you hear social engineering, it actually means that when this cyber criminal or when a person actually uses your human nature against you. Now, humans are actually gullible. Humans have our weakness. We have our faults. We can attest to that, right? Now, these are the same thing that these people actually use. Now, they use psychological manipulation. They manipulate you psychologically, trying to actually trick you into disclosing your information or granting access to systems or locations. Now, yesterday morning, I actually received a message from someone, was an SMS that I have sent you this amount of money, I've received this amount of money, and your account balance is whatever the person puts there. And I actually saw the message and I put it there. So after 30 minutes later, a number called me that he's talking from a different region in Ghana, and this person has actually sent me an amount of money that wasn't supposed to come to my account, and that he has actually reported so that my mobile money account will be blocked. I just actually didn't say anything. I just ended the call right away, and then that's was the end of it, because I didn't actually have to say anything. Now, these things are what cyber criminals can actually use to gain information. Now, imagine that you actually meet somebody in the bus stop every morning, or you actually see somebody in your school, wearing a uniform. Now, after some time, your mind actually picks this up, that this person is a colleague, or this person actually goes to the same school with you. Like, psychologically, that's what our brain would do. Our brain will pick that. Now, so if this person comes to you and engage you in a conversation, you are likely to actually associate with this person, or likely to actually have this conversation. Oh, okay, we are in the same school, or where is the library, or where can I find this? That kind of information. The person can actually just try to start a conversation just like that. Okay. Now, when the conversation start going, this person can actually go ahead and ask you, oh, where do you stay? Where are you from? What's your name? These things will actually come up. So that is what social engineering actually means. Now, they uses your human nature, your human response to actually make you think, irrationally, make you actually think that you have to do this at the time this person wants you to do. Now, there are 7 key strategies that cyber criminals actually use, or 7 key strategies that social engineering actually use to actually deceive people. Now, scarcity, familiarity-based attack, creating a feeling of urgency, intimidation, principle of authority, and trust. Now, trust. This person will actually build trust with you. This person will actually engage you. Sorry, this person will actually engage you in a lot of things, making sure that can actually build your trust. Now, these things can happen over the internet. This person will have a conversation with you, accept to be your friend, post things normal, and will actually make sure that they actually build your trust. So that is a way in which these cyber criminals actually use to get access to people. Okay. Now, there is a principle of authority. There's a principle of authority. Now, this person can actually pretend to be somebody, pretend to be, let's say, your boss, and use this kind of information like, I am, let's say, your boss, or pretending to be somebody that you know. That's somebody that has higher position. That, okay, I want you to do this, or okay, it's me, your maybe your HR, your manager, and I want you to do this, and I want you to do that for me. That is what they can actually use. Now, at that moment, you are actually in a tight spot that your boss or your manager is actually telling you to actually do something. You are actually triggered. You don't even have the time to actually confirm, or to even talk to your manager about it. Now, that is a way in which they actually use to actually get information. So intimidation is whereby they manipulate you. They actually tell you that, or they actually make you feel like, if you don't do this, this is what will happen. Like what this person was trying to do, that if I don't send the money back, my accounts will actually be blocked. That's my accounts will be blocked, and then I can't actually try and access it again unless I actually go to the office, the company's office, or the mobile networks office. Now, this is a kind of intimidation, actually making you gullible, making you feel that you have to do this at this time because there'll be problem or there'll be problem. So that's, and then there's creating a feeling of urgency, like do it right now, do this right now, or send me this information, or click on this link, or all these things. So somebody can actually be in a hurry and will meet you, like you've been seeing this person in your area, and then you actually try, let me actually get your phone number, let me actually make a call. You have been seeing this person around. You have been seeing this person in your area. Now, this person actually takes your phone to actually make a call. You don't know what can happen next. At that moment, the person actually making a call. Now, creating a feeling of urgency. It's urgent. Can I take your phone to actually make a call right now? I'll give it to you very soon. Now, all these things can actually be a form of social engineering if this person is not trying to see your phone that way. Now, so all these things are things that, these strategies are being used by criminals and people to gain information. Now, as I always say that look at what you share on social media or with people. Be mindful of what you share to people or the information you actually give to people, because you don't know where this person will take this information. Avoid actually providing sensitive information to people you just met, or to anybody, or to any account that this person is claiming to be something. Make sure that you take your time and actually engage, find out, just like the misinformation and the disinformation. Before you send an information, think. Before you actually do something, you give out information, think, and actually you know what to do next. So that is social engineering. Now, these are the few techniques. These are how social engineering is being used. So spam. Spam actually contains unwanted messages, email links, that, okay, you have received this amount of money. Okay, you just won an iPhone. Just click on this link to actually get this data. It can also be, I have sent you money. This is your uncle from I've sent you money. Make sure that you go and receive this money as soon as possible before my account the money is actually returned. All these things can actually be used. All these things can actually be used to try and steal information. Now, the purpose of cybersecurity professional is to actually compromise the integrity, the confidentiality, and availability of information. So whatever that they will do to succeed, the extent to which these people can actually go is actually too much. So spams actually are unsolicited messages. So cybersecurity professionals just sit there and target people. They just send bulk messages to a lot of people, large number of people. And you just actually need, let's say, 3, 4, just a few people to actually click on a link. Now, a spam can contain phishing. A spam, for example, on unwanted message can actually contain a phishing. Now, phishing is a type of social engineering attack that this person try to attempt you and trick you. All is about getting the information. So they try to trick you into actually revealing your passwords, your credit card numbers, your pins, and all other things. So that is phishing. Okay. Now, they can also pretend to be a legitimate source, your bank accounts, your work accounts, your school accounts, that your results are in. Click here, check your results. Or all these things can be phishing. They just want to actually get your credentials. They want to actually access the information that they are not meant to access it. Now, we should be cautious of the emails that we receive. And I know that each one of us here watching us or following us on social media and other platforms can actually attest to the fact that they have received a spam message or a phishing message before. Right now, what actually happened next is what determines if the phishing and the spam will be successful. Now, there are other types of attacks that happens. There is a farming attacks. There is farming, also known as website attacks, credential harvesting. Now, these types of attack, these website attacks actually happens whereby these cybersecurity cyber criminals actually sit down and calculate that, let's say that what is the likelihood that somebody is typing facebook.com and this person will omit 10. So these people will actually create a facebook.com website with that only 10 and will actually publish it. So maybe you are in a hurry, you are just going to Facebook, you are typing www.facebook.com with 10, you won't even check it. Maybe it's a typo. Now, once you actually do that, it takes you to facebook.com, the real site. You see the site there, pretending to be the legitimate Facebook that we know. Now, your mind won't come to it because you think that you just type facebook.com and then it came. So your mind wouldn't actually go back. Now, this is a way in which they actually use to get information. Now, so you actually go ahead and input in your password, your username, and maybe a pop-up will come that your network is failing, or you try again later. So you actually refresh it and try, and then until, let's say that you can't do it anymore, and then you create a new tab or you open it again, and this time you type the real facebook.com and it'll send you to that page. At that moment, you don't actually know what is happening. You actually maybe think that Facebook servers were actually messing up a few minutes ago. But this time, these people have actually done this type of website attacks, a typo squatting attacks, making it look like it is a legitimate website. Okay, so that is website attack. They can actually create a resemblance of the legitimate website that you are trying to go. And once you input in your username, you input in your credentials, they steal it and they use it for other things. Okay, so now, other times too, they actually use this website for ad traffic. There's actually a way to actually get money per the number of visits people will actually go, number of visits on the website. So sometimes they actually use this illegitimate website to create ad traffic, to actually make sure that a lot of people can actually visit their website, and they can get ad revenue from those things. Sometimes too, they can actually input some malicious softwares that once you actually go to this site, it actually downloads on your web browser, through your web browser, and it starts whatever that is supposed to be doing. So we should be mindful of whatever we actually click. Whenever we are going to a particular website, make sure that the information that you type, the URL that you are typing inside, is what it claims to be, www.facebook.com. Sometimes too, you search something on Google and you actually provide you with different types of accounts. You see, if you are typing facebook.com, you see different Facebook. Sometimes they can just manipulate these things and present theirs on top. They can present theirs on top of that Facebook search or that website search that you're trying to do. Maybe you don't actually know the website's URL. You are just typing in a few key terms to actually determine that particular website. Okay, so maybe you input in that key term and then you can get to see a lot of websites there. And then sometimes their website can actually be configured. These are all SEO optimization. They can actually do that to bring their website up front, to be the first website that you see. To be the first website that you see. So you should be mindful of all these things. Now, credential harvesting is more like the collection of credentials, such as username and passwords. Now, once these people actually get to compromise your password, they just sell it on the dark web. So if you actually want to get people's credentials, you should actually go to the dark web. Maybe you actually see your credentials even there. Yes, but there's a way to go to the dark web. That is also another conversation for another time. So if you actually want to go to the dark web, you actually get to see credentials, information, people's passwords, people's usernames, all these, and database of them. Sometimes they can actually get this from a system compromise, whereby maybe a top company suffered a cyber attacks. As soon as that company suffered the cyber attack, the cyber criminals actually gather people's username, people's credentials, and they actually come and, let's say, they sell it. Now, they sell it to other people. Now, other people will actually go ahead and try these usernames for further attacks. Targeting your financial, targeting banks, targeting other type of systems to actually think, or to actually see if they can actually, compromise. They can actually compromise your account or get that particular information. So they can even go inside your account and transfer an amount of money from your account. All these things are actually done from credential harvesting. Right. Now, there is also some personal ways or some physical ways in which these cyber attacks can actually use to get information. The purpose is to get information, to actually do what they are not supposed to see. The information, so compromising the availability, the integrity, and the confidentiality of information. Okay, so dumpster diving. Now, sometimes these cyber attacks can even go ahead or go to the extent of looking at your trash. Yes, looking at your trash for information. So if you actually, you were printing a document and the printer didn't print it well, you actually fold it and you actually put it in the dustbin. You go and throw it away. Now, you are printing that document. If the ink that messed up, but the information might still be on that particular document that you're trying to print. Now you just dispose it in the dustbin or the waste bin or whatever. At that moment, they can even go ahead. Yes, they can go ahead and try to look for documents, try to look for information in your dumpster. So that is why most companies have a shredder, like a machine where you can actually shred information. You put the document inside. This machine actually cuts the document or just breaks it into pieces, just shreds it and destroys these documents. That is one reason why top companies have that. So whatever that they printed in the company, before they dispose it, they make sure that they shred it, they make sure that they destroy it, they cut it into smaller parts, and then they will actually maybe fold it or go and throw it away. So dumpster diving is where they get to actually look at your disposal, how you dispose information, how you dispose documents, and try to steal something from your dumpster. So dumpster diving. Now, shoulder surfing and tailgating. All these things are also physical attacks or physical ways in which they try to get information. Now, shoulder surfing is actually simple. And I believe that most of us have actually done this before, whereby you're sitting at a cafe and you are actually stretching your neck to actually look at whatever is happening on it. The person sitting the person sitting to, let's say, to your left or to your right machine or laptop. Sometimes we actually encounter these things in a bus, in a car, whereby somebody is actually typing or doing something on the phone and we are trying to peep. It happens. Now, all these things are ways in which cyber criminals can actually do that to gain attacks. They can just come and sit by you in a car. You'll be doing business maybe on your laptop, or you'll be chatting with a colleague, using your phone. They can sit close to you and they can try to look over. So shoulder surfing, you are looking over to what somebody is actually doing. Okay, so sometimes it can actually be a mirror. They can actually, if there's a mirror somewhere or if they have a mirror close to them, they can actually try to use their mirror to actually, reflect or try and reflect that information that the person is actually doing on their laptop. All these things are physical ways in which they actually get to gain information. So now, whenever you are in, let's say, a public place and you are doing something, it can be the airport, can be even your school, your class, all these things, make sure that you don't, most of the time, open sensitive information and then leave it. So sometimes you can just leave your laptop that you are just going to the washroom or you are just standing over to actually grab a coffee. The moment you do that, somebody can just, look over at whatever is on the laptop. It is the information that they need. So for most countries, they've actually make it difficult for these type of physical attacks because sometimes you can actually go to a place and rent for usage. So it can be a cafe, modern cafes. They've actually made sure that everybody it's in its own chamber. So you are in your own chamber doing something. Another person is in the left with a board or with something that actually it's put in between different people, or it can be a room itself. So a small room for each individual person. Okay, so these can actually prevent it. Now, it's actually difficult to actually prevent these types of attacks because you don't actually know who is watching. Maybe you are just concentrating on your laptop, but then the awareness is important. You have to know that all these things can actually happen. The shoulder surfing. And now the tailgating is more like this person is actually following you, monitoring you. Now, you have access to a building. It's a large building, it's a large company. Now, you have to actually go with, let's say, a card to check you in. So an access card, or let's say maybe you have to actually use your biometrics to actually log into that particular building. Now, this person can actually be in a hurry. So once you click, you actually try and open that door, this person actually follows you. So tailgating is a physical attack whereby this person gain access to secure area by closely following somebody with legitimate access, exploiting their entry. Now, the moment you actually open, the person will be like, "Oh, hold the door for me," or maybe I forgot my card at home, or I'm just trying to look for my card. At that moment, the person is trying to search. At that moment, you'll be like, "Oh no, don't worry, you can just let's go." So you can just hold it for the person. Now, you don't actually think about these things because the person will actually will be dressed like this person is coming into the office. Now, the office is actually a large area where you wouldn't actually know everybody. You wouldn't be familiar with faces. So this person in a hurry, chasing you or following your monitoring, the moment you actually open this door or this access system, this person follows you closely to actually enter that particular secured area, and then they go ahead to actually try and do whatever that they want to do. So that is tailgating. Now, we are looking at other types of attacks or other types that actually stimulate the human senses. Okay, so we have pretext, identity theft, and hoax. Now, pretexting or pretext is actually a fabricated narrative. This person will actually cook up a story. This person will actually look at your information, maybe will follow you on social media, follow your activities or something, and then just cook or produce a very touching story to actually gain your trust or to actually gather information or build a relationship with you. Now, there are ways in which people can actually try and deceive us. All these things happens, so they can actually find a story that you can relate to, because they monitor your social media presence, they monitor what activity you are doing. Maybe you and this same pet, they can actually try and go from a religious perspective, or maybe even if it's a football perspective, this person can even go ahead and just try and bring up an information. So the pretexting, these are all social engineering techniques that the cyber criminals can actually use to gather information. Now, identity theft is also a fraudulent activity. Now, identity theft actually is a situation whereby these people actually pretend to be somebody. They pretend to be you, or they pretend to be somebody that you know. They steal somebody's identity, and they use this identity to actually cause maybe problems. They can actually use it to transfer information. They can actually use it to actually steal sensitive information, transfer amount of money outside, and all these things. They try and impersonate people, or they try and impersonate you. So maybe they have been able to get some few information about you, and then they'll actually go ahead and impersonate you, maybe change their voice, and let's say call your bank, or call a friend to ask for money with your name. So these type of attack actually is actually common on WhatsApp, whereby somebody will have their WhatsApp account hacked, or maybe sometimes Facebook. So they have your WhatsApp account hacked, and then they go ahead to actually have conversations with people on your WhatsApp list that I'm here, I'm stuck. Can you actually send me this amount of money? When I get home, I'll send it back to you, or that kind of information. They pretend to be you to actually steal information, or try and, let's say, steal your money. Yes, financial transactions. They just try and to gain something pretending to be you. So sometimes they call your bank with your voice, with your phone number, and there's a phone spoofing attacks there. They pretend to be your phone. You call your bank that you've lost, you've forgotten your password, so they should actually help you reset your password, and then you go ahead. Once your account sends the message to, or the link to actually reset your password, things they've actually spoofed your SIM or your phone, they also receive that message, and then they go ahead, do all the thing they are supposed to do, and then they get into your account, they get into your bank, transfer that amount of money that they need, and then they just leave it. Sometimes some of them are smart, that they don't actually transfer a huge amount of money, because if you actually transfer a huge amount of money, your bank may call you, your bank may notify you. So they just send, small amounts of money over time. By the time you realize, you get to know that this amount of money has been actually be taken out of my account. Okay, so that is a type of attack, and it's called identity theft. Identity theft. They pretend to be you. Now, just as the pretexting, the hoax is more like the same, whereby if this is a scheme to false information. They actually, cook up false information just like the pretexting to actually to deceive people or to mislead people. Now, these are just deliberately. So hoax are actually being spread over the news, over social media, over personal communications. It's just something general that they will do, to actually manipulate people. So they can actually touch on a few beliefs. They can actually touch on behaviors or political ideas. All these things becomes a hoax. So misinformation, all these can actually be under the hoax. So if you just join us later, the theme for this month's cybersecurity awareness is combating disinformation and misinformation. I think it is a global thing, but then in Ghana, our theme is combating misinformation and disinformation. So all this information are actually being disseminated with the intention of tricking individuals or organizations. Okay, so that becomes hoax. Okay, so let me see if, okay, we have a few slides left. Now, the last things I'll touch on is password attacks. Passwords. We have lots of passwords. We can't actually monitor all our passwords. We can't actually, sometimes remember all our passwords because for what you know, you might actually have hundreds and thousands of accounts or of different websites that you have been to that you've actually generated a password or something. Okay, so these are a few types of password attacks. Brute force attack. You've actually heard of brute force attack if you have been joining our threat intelligence seminar every time. Brute force. It's a mechanism. It's a way in which these cyber criminals actually try different password combinations. There are apps there that do that. There are softwares, paid softwares, free softwares, some even sold on the dark web that actually do this. So you actually feed information to this particular software, and this software will generate possible combinations of the information that you fed until they find a correct one. So they try this, they try this, they do it they do it over time, they do it over a long period of time. They try different combinations, and then brute force attacks are tiring and time consuming. Now, because they have to try each combination every time. Like every time there's a new combination, they have to input it in to see if it's the one. If it's not, they go back, input another one, they input another one, they input till they find the correct one. It is time consuming. Now, with the help of artificial intelligence and machine learning, they can actually leverage this machine learning and artificial intelligence to actually do this process automatically. Like it inputs it in automatically with different combinations. Okay, so if that particular account is not an account where if somebody tries different password combination, the account will be logged. So as a cybersecurity professional, or if you're actually trying or want to be a cybersecurity professional, these are the things that you should look at. If you're in an organization, make sure that this particular type of security is actually added to your network or to your website. That whenever somebody tries a password 3 to 4 times, that password will be locked. and an email will be sent to this person to actually create a new password. So that is brute force attack. Now, password spraying attack is a type of attack whereby, as the name says, you just spray the passwords across multiple platforms. Now, this is actually common because sometimes you actually repeat passwords. So maybe you have this favorite password that you use for your account. Now, as soon as they are able to get one password or one compromised account, they try and use that same password across multiple different accounts. So they try it across, or they spread it across multiple accounts using this particular password or that they've gotten in hope that you might have used that same password for another account. Okay, so that is password spraying attack. The last one that I'll touch on is the dictionary attack. Now, the dictionary actually is a book where words and terms are actually found. Now, in cybersecurity, this same dictionary is a list of possible passwords. You actually know that every particular, let's say, router, every particular system comes with a default password. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0, 0, 0, or let's say password. The word password can actually be a default password for most accounts or for most digital devices, because they've actually created it in a way that the password will be simple for you to change it. So that you can actually input your own password. Sometimes people actually forget, sometimes people don't actually create, sometimes people leave it as it is. So these type of attack is whereby they actually try a number of words or phrases in a list, a predefined list, so a dictionary. They have a dictionary of possible passwords already there, the common ones out there, and try it to see if somebody couldn't change, or somebody was not able to change that particular password, and then they can actually get access to your account, and then they go ahead and do whatever they want to do. Now, the intentions of cybersecurity criminal or cyber criminals is to compromise the integrity, the availability, and the confidentiality of systems and information, the CIA. So everything that they do, or all these things that they are doing, is a thing that go against the CIA triad. Okay, so yes. Okay, that will be the end of today's presentation. So you've actually known what social engineering is. Social engineering is whereby they actually manipulate individuals using psychological ways to disclose, for you to disclose sensitive information. Now, we also learned that there are 7 key principles in which, cybersecurity, cyber criminals. Why do I keep saying cybersecurity criminals? Cyber criminals actually use to get information, or to make you believe, or to trick you, or to manipulate you into revealing information. Some include scarcity, authority, urgency. All these things are part of the key principles. You've actually get to know that social engineering actually encompasses various techniques. So we have phishing, we have physical attacks like the tailgating and the shoulder surfing, identity theft, impersonation. All these things are types of social media techniques or social media attacks, or ways in which cyber criminals use to, to deceive people, to trick people into revealing sensitive information. Thank you. And thank you for joining us and listening to this, informative presentation. All right, so please, I'll take questions and then we will end today's session. Albert, your hand is up. Okay.
Yes. Okay. My question. Please, I would like I would like you to share the slide if you are done with everything.
You like
Should I
to,
go to
I can't hear you better. You like
yeah,
to,
I said I'll be glad if you can put the slide put the slide inside the group so that I can download it and go through over.
okay. So I'll actually speak with Pradeep. So where did you actually join this link from?
I'm in your WhatsApp.
From WhatsApp. So how? Okay. Okay, so we will try and post it on our social media platform. So let's say maybe LinkedIn or whose account do you actually click it from? And maybe once you contact that person, then
Jane sent it to me. Janet.
okay, Janet. Okay, Madam Janet. Okay, so you
I'm
actually
also in your WhatsApp.
the WhatsApp group. Okay, so then I'll actually make sure that that particular slide it's sent to the WhatsApp group so I go over. Thank you.
And
Is that
please,
all?
concerning the dark web.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So now I wanted to know the tools that you can use to access the dark web because I have the Tor browser. I'm a cybersecurity student and it's one of my dreams to enter the dark web, but I don't know how to go to access it. I only have the Tor browser.
Yes. So you have the Tor browser. You want to actually go to the dark web.
And
I don't know.
have
We are not authorized to teach how to go to the dark web on this platform because we are here to actually create awareness. You understand? So probably in a personal or different conversation, or if you actually join our class, if you are able to join our class, maybe we can have that discussion there. But this is a public platform, and then I'm sorry, but we can actually share. I know the Tor browser, and I know that is a first step, but then there are other ways, and then there are sides, but then we can actually disclose all this information here. I'm actually sorry about that. Okay.
thank you.
All right. Okay. So that'll be the end of today's session. If you are interested in learning more about cybersecurity, South Africa, we offer cybersecurity course, a cybersecurity course. You get to learn more about the things that we said here, and you get to practice using the tools, the Wireshark, the Qualys, the Nmap, all these things, the Linus tools. You get to learn all of them here in South Africa Cybersecurity Plus course. So enroll now, visit our social media platforms, send us a message. You will take it from there. We will contact you, and then you can actually be part of our cybersecurity course or cybersecurity training. It is ongoing, and you don't want to miss it because according to reports, the world actually need 1.6 million cybersecurity professionals. You can be one of them. If there's something that's actually happening, something that's actually a hot cake on the employment market. So if you are interested, go ahead, learn more about cybersecurity, learn what is it about, and if you have any questions, come back to us. We will actually engage you and provide you with all the resources that you want. Thank you guys for joining us. And thank you all those who joined us